First off, you will continue to progress in whatever field you are in, and you will kill it. Like, you will literally dominate if you put your mind to it and you put in the work. Motivation, discipline equals success. Hey y'all, it's Kimberly K, come to you guys with part 3 of my 7-part entrepreneurship series. I'm really excited that you guys are enjoying this. I've been reading the comments, and I will be down in the comments of today's video, so definitely leave me some feedback, questions, comments, concerns, all of that. I do want to start this particular series off, well, really all of the series off, by a disclaimer. I am not a tax attorney. I am not a CPA. I'm not an accountant, so definitely make sure you're going to seek professional help. And although I am a licensed attorney, I am not forming an attorney-client relationship with this video. It's for educational and informative purposes only. Disclaimer is out the way. But of course, if you have some questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. I'm not seeking out clients on my social media platforms at this moment, so please refrain from reaching out to me for legal help, unless I could possibly give you a referral. But anyway, so with that being said, let's jump into today's video, which is all about the okay, I'm just playing. I'm playing. Oh, listen. Money can be funny, okay? And you need to make sure your money and your coins are correct before you're jumping into entrepreneurship full time. There will be so many obstacles, twists, turns, and just craziness that are going to come your way, especially if the income is not as consistent as having a traditional 9-to-5 or a specific job where you're working for someone and they pay you a certain amount every 2 weeks or every week or every month. It's just different. It varies. For a lot of entrepreneurs, they're making money in a variety of different areas. A little bit different than having multiple streams of income, but then again, it's similar. So, and again, I did take notes, so I will be looking down occasionally, but in today's video, I want to focus on 3 main things. First, building a savings and an emergency fund. I say it's 2 different things. You can have multiple savings accounts, but we'll talk about them in a moment. The second thing I also want to focus on is identifying your multiple streams of income. I know I just said that entrepreneurs, they tend to dip and dab into a variety of different things, and that could not be considered multiple streams of income, but I'll explain that again more once we get to it. And 3, figuring out how much money you actually need. A lot of times we're like, oh, I have to have $20,000 saved before I leave my 9-to-5 job. But sometimes you really don't even need that much, or maybe you need more. It all depends, but we'll get to it. So, all right, y'all. So when building a savings and emergency fund, it can seem extremely intimidating. And I can tell you guys, first off, I'm like, girl, I'm gonna just save me a little $20 here, a little $100 here, a little $30 here. You need to have a game plan. That's why I really like to use the app Digit. This isn't sponsored, but even if it was, okay, Digit, holla at your girl. But I use this app called Digit. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but what I like about it is I went in there and I set up my own savings goal. So let's just say you set a savings goal of $10,000 in 3 months. So it will make sure it takes out a specific amount out of your banking account or whatever account you have set up to it. So then it saves that amount in the Digit app. And then you can always withdraw from it and things like that as needed. But I really like it because it holds me accountable for a certain amount. You can also create your emergency fund or raise rainy day funds or a variety of different elements within your Digit app. Also, if you click the link in the description box below, you guys, not only if you refer a friend, me referring y'all, my friend, we both will get $15. And then once you sign up for Digit and you start to save, they also will give you a link. So it's not just for influencers or content creators. Anybody, if you use the Digit app and you find that you like it just as much as I do, I've been using the app. Oh girl, I've been using this app for well over a year at this point. It's just really an easy app to use. It's so mindless. I don't have to think about how much I'm taking out, how to categorize every savings goal so that I can hit it and all these things. It does it for you. So I really like the Digit app. But if you don't want to use that app, another thing you can do is do it manually. Like I said, either create a spreadsheet on a Word document, whatever you're comfortable with, and set a specific savings goal. You can set something as, I want to save $10,000 by the end of the year. Or you can set something specific like, I know I want to travel to California and the ticket is going to be around this price. I want to save that amount within 60 days. How can I set that up with the amount of money that I'm receiving or per month so that I can hit that goal? Also, emergency funds, I know a variety of people have different opinions on this. This is just my opinion. But I say save 3 to 6 months minimum in your emergency fund. It should be minimum in your emergency fund, especially if you're planning to leave your 9-to-5 job. So not only do you want to make sure you have like a little bit of an extra cushion, because say you leave your 9-to-5 job or you get fired, job security, I'm telling you guys, hire yourself, that's job security. But if you have been working somewhere and then all of a sudden they're laying people off or whatever the case may be, it would feel a lot better if you knew and you had an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months to survive, because you might not immediately get a job, but even sometimes, y'all know how it is when you get a new job but you don't get that first check for like 2-3 weeks because like either they just got paid and it's a delay, honey. So you want to make sure that you have an emergency fund just in case, because life really does happen. Your tire may pop. I gotta get my car checked because car problems, but my car's paid off, so thank God I want to do it, and things like that. So you just want to make sure that you're set up, so no matter what the situation or circumstances may have, you're gonna be good. Now, when it comes to setting up these different accounts for a variety of different ways you want to save in your emergency fund, there's lots of different ways you can do it. So I have a checking and a savings in the same bank account. Then I also have 2 savings accounts within the Digit app. I also have an additional savings account that I just do not touch, do not have a card for. I cannot, if I need that money, I need to go to the bank, walk up there, go. I don't want to do all that. So that makes it a lot easier because I can't just see the amount all the time, and I can't just use the card and like swipe it like, oh, it's fine, I'll just transfer a little bit and things like that. So it's helpful to have a variety of different savings in a variety of different areas, because there will be a time I may need access to a certain savings account. So I want to be able to have some access, because again, emergencies happen. You want to be able to reach some funds, but you also want to have an account where it's like you can't touch it, you don't really see it, it just keeps, you know, increasing its revenue because you haven't touched it and things like that. Again, if you can invest, that's the goal. I'm working on that. That's my goal for 2021, is to start getting into investments. But right now, as a new business owner, I'm trying to, you know, ride the wave and see how this works out first. I also want to add that your savings goals don't have to be extremely high, and you can, you know, do with that as you may. But saving $1,000 a month is really good. Saving $300 a month is really good. There was a statistic that I saw that said rarely people in the United States have $1,000 in their savings. $1,000. And I get it, that's a lot of money. Listen, okay, I was not silver spoon fed, or however you want to say it. Saving is very difficult, but it's very possible. Start to cut back. Try to get to that 1,000. If you don't have $1,000 in your savings account, have that be your goal. Use the Digit app, put it in there, and you'd be surprised of how much money you really can save. Whether that's cutting back on groceries or cutting back on going out to eat, cutting back on coffee at Starbucks rather than just buying a coffee maker, and that'll save you in the long run. Because that was my thought process. Okay, sure, I'll eat at home more, but how am I really saving? But when I sat down and looked and really broke it down, I was saving a ton. So what I like to do is I list all my bills on a document, on a spreadsheet, or even in your notes in your phone, just to see where your money is going. Okay, here's a list of bills, and make sure you're including those subscriptions, y'all. Like, I write down all of my bills, any money that is coming out. I estimate things like gas, or if you know for a fact, put that down. But be very real with yourself. Even if you never show anybody, you should definitely reach out to an accountant if you need to understand the logistics behind it and get the best benefits, especially if you're an entrepreneur. But you just writing down all of your bills and expenses is really going to help you. I like to separate my expenses, of course, have my business expenses over here, and then separate them for monthly and then annually, and then also same thing with like my personal expenses, and also with like my recurring expenses such as rent, utilities, phone bills, things like that. I just like to keep track of it, and it doesn't have to be this crazy difficult thing. Make a list in your phone notes. I promise you guys, that's going to help you enough. I also separate it by which check. So when I was working a 9 to 5, I would get a check every 2 weeks. So my first check, I would put the amount I'm going to get and put all the bills that are going to come out of there with the total. So that I know, okay, in my first check, all of these bills are going to come out. This is what's left. I'm saving this amount. That makes sense? I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comment section below, how do you save and what's your like method of keeping up with your expenses. Now, when it comes to tracking your finances, especially as a new entrepreneur, freelancer, having multiple kind of parties and multiple ways you're getting income to come in, it can be very difficult. That's why I really like to use Quickbooks. I've been using them since 2018. Right when I started my business, I was like, I need something that I can track and see what's coming in, what's going out. And then that way, when I did taxes, I literally had it all there. All my business expenses were already separate. They keep track of all of those things. It's definitely worth the investment. I'm on the self-employed version, but I'm definitely thinking about updating. So if you haven't already checked out Quickbooks, definitely check it out. If I have like a coupon code or something, I've never worked with them, but that would be great. But if I have something like through the platform that I automatically get for working, like from having a platform on there, I definitely will leave it in the description box below. But Quickbooks, if you have not, at first I was like, girl, I'm not spending that money on no dang And then I did it, and then I realized how worth it was. Definitely check out the free trial. I believe they have one. test it out and see how you like it. How I use it is I have my 3, I think, bank accounts connected to them. I have 2 business accounts, and I have them both set up through Quickbooks. So then whenever I make a purchase through my business accounts, it pops up on Quickbooks and I can categorize them and set up rules. So whenever I got paid for like Sam's Beauty, y'all know I work with them a lot with my wig videos, it automatically categorizes that as business income and business expenses, etc. So it depends on what it is. Or like Squarespace, set it up as a business expense, it's automatically on there, so it pays monthly, and I think I set it up annually now. But so it just makes it very easy. So at the end of the year, or whenever I'm filing my taxes, I can see this is how much I made as far as income, this is how much I made as far as profits, and you know, income minus the business expenses equal your profits, and your profits is what you actually get taxed on. So speaking of that, I know people throw out business expenses all the time, they just throw out all these words, but the pro and the con with that, and I actually mentioned this in a vlog, so the benefit of business expenses is that it reduces your profit, so then you're taxed at a less tax bracket. Say if you're making $100,000 a year, you may want to use some business expenses or purchase some things that are going to help your business, so then you can drop down into that $70,000 or less tax bracket. I'm just speaking very general, y'all. You can look up the tax bracket and Google it. Like I said, I'm no CPA, not a tax lawyer, and I don't feel like looking it up, but I have it all listed in my notes in my business Google Drive. But so once you decide, okay, I need to maybe spend a little bit more or whatever the case may be, of course it's strategic, but it's also beneficial for your business, because especially in the beginning you should be investing back into your business, but you don't want your profits so low so that when you try to get a mortgage or get an apartment, etc., they're like, wait, it looks like you're only making $50,000 a year, or you're only making $20,000 a year, when really your income was $200,000 a year, but you spent so much on your business expenses that it reduced your profits. I hope that makes sense. So let me use better numbers. Your income is $100,000. That's how much money that has came into your account. Your business expenses, you spent $70,000 on business expenses. $100,000 minus $70,000 gives you $30,000. So now your profit is what you're taxed on. So you're taxed on $30,000. So when you're getting a mortgage, or you're getting a car, or you're getting an apartment, you're trying to show proof of income, it shows $30,000 on your tax returns. It doesn't say income was $200,000 or $100,000, and then the business, it don't say all that. It says your profit. So you want to make sure that your profit isn't too low. $30,000 is fine. Like that's okay. We want to strive for better, but I'm saying like you don't want to get to a place where your profit it's so low because you're like, business expenses, yay! Like it needs to be strategic and it needs to make sense. Which is why I say definitely talk to an accountant so you can see what's the best route for you. If you guys want a more in-depth video on savings, expenses, emergency funds, things like that, I can give you guys how I exactly do it, and I'm still learning, so maybe that might be like a fun little thing we can learn together. But let me know in the comment section below if that's something you're interested in. But we're going to move on to the second topic. Alright, so now I'm going to talk about identifying your multiple streams of income. So let me start by saying, when I said entrepreneurs tend to dip and dab into a variety of different things, but those I wouldn't consider necessarily a multiple streams of income, I agree with that, yes and no. So what I mean by that is when you work a 9 to 5, you have your core amount of money that is coming in, right? So that to me would be one expense. As an entrepreneur, you're going to naturally have multiple streams of income, but you want your multiple streams that are like your core main amount to have additional streams. Let me explain that. So let's say my main source of income is my YouTube channel. Now that could be broken down into a variety of different things. Am I talking about Google Adsense? Am I talking about sponsorships? That could look like multiple streams of income, but really that's just one source of income. So I want to make sure I have income outside of that. So maybe that would be Instagram. I also could lump that into one category. Social media income. That could be one source. So of course I want additional sources. So that may be like my contract templates or whatever else I sell that's more specific to my business as opposed to my social media presence. Just like I said in part 2 of the series where I mentioned you want to solve a problem, I'm going to read it because I want to get this right. You want to solve a common problem by using the skills and knowledge you already have. This is how you can also find other streams of income. For instance, using me as an example, I'm an attorney, okay? There's so many different ways I can find multiple streams, whether that's practicing law, whether that's consulting law, whether that's drafting and creating contracts for influencers, whether that's having a social media presence and making money with the baseline because I'm an attorney, whether that's mentoring or coaching or law students, aspiring law students, and things like that. There's so many different avenues, and the baseline, the common or my skill that they all relate to is that I'm a lawyer. So kind of start there, just like we did in part 2. All of this is kind of going to overlap, which you guys will notice. But once you have that bottom framework and you know, okay, this is my skill set when I made my list, like I talked about, making your list and seeing what jobs you may be interested in and things of that nature, you'll be able to build from there and also create your multiple streams of income from that list. Don't say I never helped y'all. Okay, so I'm going to talk about my multiple streams of income. I also will go more in depth about the specifics of like sponsorships and brand deals and things like that in another video in the series, where I'm going to be talking about how to be an influencer, how to be a content creator, how we make money, all the tea on that. So stay tuned for that video. But my multiple streams of income consist of the following. I have sponsorships, and that could be on YouTube as well as Instagram. I just loop them into sponsorships. And what that means is when I say, hey y'all, today's video is sponsored by so-and-so, or you look down in the description box below and it says it's sponsored by so-and-so, or on Instagram where it says paid by sponsorships by so-and-so, or I put the hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored, things like that, then okay, that's a sponsorship. But by FTC guidelines, the Federal Trade Commissions, we are obligated to put sponsored ad in our videos in some way or some form, so that we're not essentially blindsiding or shielding from our consumers or the customers or the clients that we're getting paid to give our opinion. So that doesn't say, oh, we have to say it's a great opinion or it's a great experience. We don't have to say that. We just have to let you guys know, because the FTC wants to protect you guys, and me as well as a consumer. They want to protect us from people from lying, essentially. So they want us to be able to form our own opinions to the person who is doing the sponsorship, to say, hey, you know what? They're getting paid for this. Do I still trust them, or whatever the case may be there? Anyway, I don't want to go too legalese on you. I could definitely do a video on that. But so sponsorships, also Google Adsense. So every month, once a month, I get paid from YouTube, Google Adsense. So YouTube is owned by Google. So I get a check from Google Adsense, and that's per every 1,000 views, I get paid a certain amount. And it's over the course of all of my videos that are monetized. My third stream of income is just freelancing, and I just put this as a general term because it depends on what I'm doing. So like I'm helping my friend with a website, I'm helping an organization with a website, variety of different things. Again, using the skill sets that I have. I created my own website. I'm familiar with graphic design, web design. I'm not an expert, but I would say I'm definitely at above average knowing, especially when it comes to website design and building and things like that, using specifically Squarespace, because that's what I use, as well as Shopify. I'm familiar with that. So just random different things that I tend to dip and dab in. Not necessarily I promote, just things that people know that I do, or like video production. I shoot content for myself, so of course I can shoot photos of other people and things like that. So freelancing is a third source of income. Speaking of freelancing, there are so many different apps you can join if you want to do that. I haven't joined any. Maybe I'll do it in the future. I don't know. So for instance, I hired my campaign manager off an app called Upwork, and that's where I use to put my job posting out there. Hey, I'm looking for this, and then I hired her from that. My fourth source of income, and again, these are all different percentages in the amount of income total that I actually made, especially now that I'm new to doing it full time. They will definitely teeter-totter, and I'm looking to have more of my business things take up more of my income as opposed to the sponsorships and stuff like that. But I'm blessed and highly favored, and I appreciate that where I am, we're good over here. My fourth stream of income is through my company called the Esquire Brand, and essentially I'm gonna read it because it's so good. It's not officially launched, but it's like soft launched. So basically, I help lawyers navigate, dominate, and build an engaged audience in the influencer marketing space. I also help lawyers, law firms, solo practitioners build their audience and build their social media presence online, and see the importance of having a strong online presence. So I help with like the branding and marketing of social media for lawyers, law firms, solo practitioners. But then also, like I said in the beginning, I help lawyers who aspire to be influencers and content creators kind of navigate in this new, I would say, niche, where it's not necessarily specific to getting clients or talking about the law or giving legal advice online. It's more about the day in the life and showing people that we're just regular people and our career is lawyers. So a few different things in that thing, but it's all under the Esquire brand. Again, I've soft launched it. I'm trying to figure out if I want to create a course, a master class, some type of one-on-one coaching. I don't know yet. But I've been doing it on a smaller scale with a few different people in my like personal life, as well as some people online that have reached out to me, and they're kind of like my beta new group that I'm testing things out. My fifth source of income is social media consultations. So I just actually put it on my website. I was kind of doing them on the side here and there, but I was like, you know what, let me just put it on, make a landing page and put it on my website. So if you're interested in social media consultations and more specific to how I make money, giving you guys the links and the information on the platforms that I use to make money, how I set my rate, showing you my media kit, showing you my rate sheet, I give all the tea in the consultation. Definitely click the link in the description box below. You guys can check that out and sign up for my consultations. It's limited spots because they are an hour long, so I try to keep them on the same day, and I don't like to take too many people because I really want to pour into them, because I do follow up after the call and give you guys more resources, more tips and tricks and all that. So definitely sign up for that if you're interested. I also do resume, cover letter, and personal statement trainings. So I had launched this, I think, a month ago, but my website, it was just a complete fail because the website was glitching. It was just like chaos, but I finally got it together. So if you're interested in me reviewing your resume, cover letter, and or personal statement, I provide those trainings. It will be video as well as written format. So I will do a full analysis on each of those documents, whether it's your resume and cover letter or your resume, cover letter, and personal statement. So definitely click the link below. I'll also provide that for you guys. I'm not really good at like promoting my services, I've realized. We'll talk about in another video about building a team and if you should need one and things like that. But I know that's an area where I'm weak at, so I'm trying to do better with promoting the things, because you guys ask me these questions. I'm like, I just want to give it for free. But my thing is, if I give everything away for free, I can't continue to pour into you guys, because I have to sustain what I'm doing if I want to work for myself. And now I have more time to be creative, more time to respond, more time to just pour into you guys all the knowledge, creativity, and information that I have. So with that, I have to be able to make money. So that's kind of what has helped me shift out of the mindset of negative money mindset, or a budget, or a low money mindset. I don't even know how to classify it, but I've been reading this book, which I've read before, but now I'm reading it again more intentionally, from You Are a Badass at Making Money, and I also like You Are a Badass official, like the original. It's really helpful because there's a lot of times that we just hinder ourselves from making more money just because we think, oh, that's just too much. But then like you see somebody else selling the same thing for like 20 times the amount and they're making money, so someone's gonna buy it. But yeah, so I say all that to say, I will leave all the links below to services that I provide. So that wraps up all my sources of income at this very moment. There may be some smaller things that I'm not thinking. Editing Cameron here. Yes, there's something I forgot. I forgot about my legal team membership club. So it's $25 a month, so that is a source of income. It's a small source right now, but I intend on increasing that. So if you want to know more information, definitely check the description box below. I always leave the information down there below. But long story short, it is an exclusive membership group for aspiring law students, aspiring lawyers, where I give all the tea on how to get into law school and how to get through law school. So if you are a prospective law student or a current law student, it's the group for you. Right now, but there are two things that I'm planning to launch. One is going to be the contract templates. I've sold one and I've gotten some feedback and things like that. So I am trying to just wait until it's all together and I'm editing and revising and reviewing, have other people look at it, because I want to make sure they're good and solid and legit and very user friendly and very customizable and easy to use. I want it to be informative. I don't want you to just get this contract like another fillable contract you find online and you don't even know what the heck it says. I want you to be able to read it and actually understand, and me to provide you with the guidance to be able to do so, and the comfortability that comes with knowing what your contract says and giving you contract terms that are familiar to you, especially in the influencer marketing space. But this can go with a lot of entrepreneurs as well as business owners and things of that nature. These will be helpful resources for all of you. So I'm working on that. My estimated launch is by Black Friday, so that's the goal. So get your coins ready, and you will have these templates once you purchase them forever. You will have them in a document form, so you're able to customize them, like I said, personalize them, and all that good stuff. The second thing I plan on launching, and I'm just trying to figure out the best way I want to do this, I want to pour into the influencer marketing space with the knowledge that I know as an attorney, as well as being an influencer, and point out key things that influencers need to be aware about. I just haven't figured out the best way to do that. But those two things are in the works. The contract templates will be here at Black Friday. The influencer contracts, I'm kind of doing a little here and there when someone reaches out to me and they have a question about a contract, things like that. But I want to create a something. But I have an idea. I don't want to spill the beans, but stay tuned for that. So why should you have multiple streams of income, and what was the purpose of me going through that? Because you never know when one may drop, and that's even when having a 9-to-5. You could get fired tomorrow. Not saying you will not. First off, you will continue to progress in whatever field you are in, and you will kill it. Like, you will literally dominate if you put your mind to it and you put in the work. Motivation, discipline equals success. I'm telling you, you guys can do this. But you want to have a backup plan just in case. That's why we have a savings. Think about like your car insurance. I didn't get my car insurance because I'm like, girl, I know I'm gonna get in a car accident. Let me get this car insurance. No, I got the car insurance just in case, hopefully not, that I get into a car accident. So it's the same thing with like a savings and multiple streams of income. Topic number 3, figuring out how much money you actually need. So I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say every month your bills level out to $1,000 per month. And let's say you have a product and you're trying to figure out how much you should come up with a price, how much your price should be for that product in order for you to reach your monthly minimum goal of $1,000 per month, right? So if your product, you're like, okay, well, how much should I sell this product? Let's say you price the product at $100. Great. How many times do you need to sell that product in order to reach your monthly goal? So if your goal is 1,000, the product's 100, you need to sell 10 products. I feel like when you break it down like that, it doesn't seem like such a scary thing, because it's really not. I know it's easier said than done, but once you have that minimum goal of I need to sell 10 products, I feel like that takes the weight off of where do I even start? Because I know that's a lot of the problem, and a lot of the, not necessarily a problem, a lot of the nervousness and anxiety that comes with being a full-time entrepreneur or having your own business is I'm just selling stuff without having a game plan. But if I know I need to sell 10 of these products to meet my minimum goal of $1,000, I think that is really helpful when it comes to providing a game plan and a baseline for where you're going when it comes to finances. Finances is probably the number one hinder of people going full-time in a business, because it's very uncertain. You're not sure how to do it. You're used to having that consistent income. I get it, especially for me as an influencer. A lot of times when I'm doing like a sponsorship, it may be net 30, net 45, net 60, meaning I won't get paid the day I post that photo. I may post a photo and not get paid for it for 30, 45, or 60 days, net 60, next 45, net 30. So what that means. So that can be very frustrating and something new, because I'm like, how can I navigate this space and be able to track how much I'm making if I don't know, if I'm not going to get paid for 30 days. Also, dates change around. So originally, say I may post the original date may be post November 1st. But then say I don't get the package until October 31st. There's no way I can post the 1st. So then that pushes things back. But I've actually created like a spreadsheet of how I track that and the best way to do that. So again, if you purchase my social media consultation, I can tell you all that and give you all the little insights. But that's just a little tidbit to consider when you are trying to get in the influencer marketing space, or when you are trying to look at your finances and decide how that's going to look in this new journey of entrepreneurship. Let me also give you another example. So say you want to build a social media presence and you're like, hey, I only have 1,000 followers. Like I need 100,000 followers, or I need 50,000 followers, or I need 10,000 followers in order for me to make money. But let me offer you this. If you have 1,000 loyal followers, very niche, that you know is going to purchase whatever you sell, and you sell a $100 product to 1,000 people, somebody pull out your calculators. I will wait. Yes, 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 you are correct. $100,000. 1,000 followers, $100 product, $100,000. And again, I understand that it seems like, girl, there is no way. It's harder. It's easier said than done. There's no way I can do that. And I agree, because it's hard to find that right product. It's hard to find your offer that is really going to hit your audience. But it takes trial and error. And me as a new entrepreneur, I'm learning that everything that I put out, I'm not always going to hit. It's not always going to be, this is the moment. But it takes you trying, and it takes you putting out different offers and business ideas, and to see what your audience like, because there's going to be a time where your audience, your followers, your clients are going to love that specific product, and you're going to find it and you're going to run with it, and you're going to be making 5-figure, 6-figure months. It's going to be crazy, and I'm so excited for you guys. And I get it. This takes time, okay? I'm right here with you. I am new to this full-time entrepreneurship game. Again, I've had my business since 2018, so I'm a little familiar with how it works, how to regulate it, things like that. But when it comes to trying to figure out what's the best digital product, what's the best course, do I want to do a course, do I want to sell merch, what's the best way to sell merch, I'm learning just like you guys. But I wanted to start this series to share with you what I've learned so far, and maybe I'll do an update every year or something like that. But I want you guys to know that I have less than 100,000 subscribers, as y'all see on my YouTube in particular. and I've signed 4-figure deals for one video. I've made over $1,000 just on my views. Also on my Instagram, I've also made 3-figure, 4-figure deals, and I have less than 20,000 followers over there. So you do not have to have 1 million followers to make social media a career, which is such a benefit, and it's great, and it's a blessing because I have, with a smaller audience, it's way more intimate. I can still interact with you guys. It's not overwhelming yet, so that's what makes it great, and my engagement is really high with that. So sometimes we all get caught up in the numbers, and we all get caught up with, well, I only made $10 today, or only sold one product, but that's one product, and you were scared to even start. Could you imagine, like, you would have never sold that product? If you can sell one, you can sell more. Start there. Also, I had somebody ask me, they were like, hey, so who bought your product? Was it just family and friends? And I was like, no, it was like some people in my audience. And they're like, that's great. Even if it's only 3 to 5 products or 10 products, the fact that you can start to sell people that aren't your immediate family or friends, even though that's great too, but that shows that you're starting to get pulled from people that literally don't know you from a rock, okay? Like, they don't know you from Adam, like, and they're still buying from you. So I feel like I'm going on a tangent here, but I hope this video was really helpful to you guys. I hope you learned something. Leave me some comments down below, some questions. I wasn't really sure what I wanted to touch on in this particular video because I know, again, finances and money can get real funny, but I wanted to pour into you guys and give you guys any tips and tricks that I may have. So I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and thumbs up this video if you enjoyed, and click that notification bell so you're notified every single time I upload a video. And I will see you guys in my next one.